we ought to desire to reveal the mysteries of God. Because in revealing the mysteries of God, we get closer and closer to our purpose. Last week we talked about edification. Somebody tell me what was something we learned about edification. You can go to your notes. I see you can. What was something we learned about edification? When we speak edification, what are we doing?
Instructing.
Helping the church to grow. But let's talk about it from a prophetic standpoint, an individual prophetic standpoint. We can talk about it from someone that prophesies corporately or someone that teaches prophetically. But I want to talk about it one-on-one right now. When we speak edification to somebody, what are we doing?
Instructing.
Instructing. What were you saying? What you said was good. Encouraging.
Helping them grow.
Provoking them to grow.
Enlightenment.
I can't hear you.
Enlightenment.
Enlightenment. That's right. And what does it mean to be enlightened?
You gain knowledge.
Gain knowledge. Okay. All right. And we also talked about a word that I like to use, sophistication. And I'm just going over this because of this afternoon. Instead of going into something new, I'm going over this because I want to remind us so it's fresh with us. We talked about sophistication. And we talked about sophistication was freeing you from false teaching, false beliefs, and or illusions. We talked about it provoking you to deeper truths of God through his word. So whenever you speak edification, it provokes you to get a closer and more deeper relationship with God through his word. All right? Let's move on to the second word. The second word was exhortation. When we speak exhortation, what were we saying we were speaking?
Urgent advice.
What'd you say?
It's the utterance of urgent advice.
Urgent advice. Whenever somebody speaks exhortation, it means I need you to move quickly concerning this matter. It'd be a prophetic word, but the prophetic word would be laced with like a stipulation where somebody has to move urgently. Because if they don't move urgently, then God's not going to move on their behalf. So remember, whatever you God's given you, if you're going to flow in exhortation, and one of the things that I'm going to be looking at with each of us that are going to go forth today, I want to see, what are you flowing in? Are you flowing in edification? Are you flowing in exhortation? Are you flowing in comfort? Do you have a deeper level of the prophetic where you're flowing in prophetic instruction and prophetic insight? I want to see exactly where we are, because this is going to be a measurement of the last, how many weeks have we had this now? 5, 6 weeks or so? Mm-hmm. Because one of the things I believe in when teaching, I believe in what's called benchmarks. And benchmarks actually let you know whether your teaching is effective. So tonight what I'm going to find out is if what I've been teaching the last 5, 6, 7 weeks has been effective, because if not, then I have to rethink the way that I'm teaching. So I'm going to be looking for edification. I'm going to be looking for comfort. I'm going to be looking for exhortation. I'm going to be looking, as I said, for prophetic instruction. Not mainly prophetic instruction from some of you that just flow in the gift of prophecy, but those that are developing in the prophetic office. Our overseer is going to prophesy a little bit different than, the rest of some of the other ones as well, because of prophetically where God is taking him and where he is prophetically. So I'm not going to measure where you are based off of what overseer gets up and says. All right? Now let's move on to the last one. That was comfort. That's where we stopped at last week. We didn't get to finish comfort. So I want to talk about some of the things we did talk about with comfort, and then we're going to go into some other things with comfort, so we're prepared as well. Anybody remember what we talked about as far as with comfort?
Strengthens.
To strengthen. Anything else? That's what you're going to say? Yeah. We talked about it being animation. Oh, yeah. To cause it to become to life to people. It's not a, this is where we talked about, I said that you can be empathetic with people, but you can't be sympathetic with people. Because when you're empathetic, that means I'm going to still hold you accountable to your responsibilities. So whenever you speak comfort, it's not a comfort in, oh, don't worry about it, it's going to be okay. It's not that type of comfort. Sometimes this type of comfort comes in a manner that we don't like it, because it still comes sounding like a rebuke. However, it's not speaking to us, it's speaking to the seed that's inside of us. Because we're going to get to that too, what we talked about there. It talks about to make strong, to fortify, to assist or to help, to aid, to impact, to strengthen, to cause there to be a hope. Sometimes when we minister to people and we minister comfort, they feel like there is no hope whatsoever. There's two forms of that. There are some people where their hope is shaken. But then there are some people where their hope is fully spent. And whenever you speak comfort, you have to be able to know, am I ministering to someone whose hope is shaken, or am I ministering to someone whose hope is on empty? So know that when you're ministering in the area of comfort. And as God begins to mature you prophetically, you're going to know what areas you flow in. And if you flow in edification, and that's all you flow in, don't try to be one that flows in exhortation and one that flows in comfort. Be comfortable in where God uses you to flow. Don't do good with paper tests. Some people panic from, as soon as they hear tests, they go into panic mode. So what I'm doing is I'm going to do a test like this today. Then we're going to do a written test. And then we're going to do an oral test as well. Because I want to hit all areas of all styles of learning to see exactly where we are. And those that have missed classes, you can go right back to the City of Refuge page. They're right up there on the page.
You that are listening,
they're up there. All right. So relax. We'll take a test. We'll do a big review of everything next week, and then we'll take the written test the following week. Okay. And the thing is, you can use your notes if you've been taking notes.
Yes.
you can use the turkey.
So now go back and review, and then from the review next week, I'll do a review and all that. So we can. Now I'm going to tell you this: the tests will probably be a little more intense than the review, because I just want y'all to know that you know the information. It's stored within you, but you have to relax. Just like when you're up here prophesying, you have to relax to hear God with the test. Relax and take it. It's a measuring stick for you and for me as well as an instructor. So make sure that you're like I said, you're taking good mental notes or taking